Habits, seven habits of highly effective people. And so, yeah, actually, I dropped a link in the chat right there. There's a really great book. It's really kind of it's kind of legendary. Actually, Keith Thompson was the one who got me hooked on it. Basically, the idea of this book is it goes into seven habits of what top performers across all industries are doing, and what habits they make for themselves that lead to being productive and living satisfying lives. What basically today's session, I want to kind of piggyback off some of the ideas from that book, added a couple of my own because you look at the best philosophers in life. It was Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato. They kind of they built off each other. So I thought today what I would do is I'm going to build off of Stephen Covey and go specifically with 7 habits of highly effective real estate agents. But before we dive into that, guys, as you guys know, I'm the head of Inside Sales here at Century 21. If you have any questions, if you need anything, what my job here is to do is to essentially help you guys make more money. Any way I can do that, I'm happy to do so. You can always shoot me a text, give me a call. That number 951-319-2273, or send me a quick email at hunter@fullrealtyservices.com. But in passing with that, what I want to do next is talk a little bit of announcements. I've got basically 3 major announcements. Number one, we've added a new ISA to our team. Her name is Valeria, and Valeria is she's actually pretty special. She's on the call today as well. You guys will get to know her over the next couple weeks and months ahead. But she's going to be kind of joining the team to also help us with prospecting and finding new leads, but she's also going to take on some of the responsibilities that Anastasia has been doing so dutifully for us. And what's really cool about Lara actually worked for Century 21 out of New York before she moved back here to Russia. Just this past month. But yeah, besides that, 2 other big announcements. We had a really great session last month of audit my database or audit your database, where basically I invited all you guys to come and we opened up Follow Up Boss. We looked into your database, looked for leads and opportunities that we were, for example, overlooking or didn't realize were sitting right there. Want to do that this session again. We're going to be doing that on March 26th. And before that, next week on March 19th, we're going to be doing another session of Ask Me Anything, where you can literally come, bring your question. You can ask me about Follow Up Boss. You can ask me about YLOPO. You can ask me for dating advice, whatever your heart desires, whatever you need. I'm here. I'm ready to be your Oprah, so to speak. Okay. But without further,
business card. We're putting that on the business card. Ready to
that's
be
right.
Hunter Kaywood, ready to be your Oprah.
That's right. That's right. Heck yeah, it's a great tagline. I think I'm actually gonna upgrade my Instagram bio with "Ready to be your Oprah." I like it. I like it. All right, guys. So let's dive in right to it. Like I said, there's 7 habits that I think really correlate to being a great agent. And I look at some of the best agents in our company. I've seen what they're doing, and you guys know I'm having like tech consulting, tech coaching conversations pretty much every single day with agents on our team. And I'm asking those questions about what are you doing, and I'm giving advice as what to do. And well, anyways, I want to kind of dive right into that. The number one thing that our top agents are doing, that the top real estate agents in the country are doing, is they are winning the morning and they are winning the weekend. Okay, so what does that look like in terms of winning the morning? My first real estate coach, Scott Trimbley, out of South Carolina, he was very committed to this idea. His thought process was to win the morning. You got to wake up and you got to work out first. Get that energy flowing, get that blood pumping, and then go straight into the office and start calling, prospecting, doing everything in terms of building setting the tone for the rest of your day. But specifically, guys, you can do the workout or you don't do the workout, whatever you prefer. But what I think is important is when we lock in at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're in the office. We already know what we're going to do. I'm going to prospect. I'm going to role play. I'm going to preview listings, because what I want to do is I want to set up myself in the morning that I'm doing all the work on the front end, so that in the afternoon I'm going on appointments. I'm meeting with clients. I'm having, effective real estate conversations in the afternoon that get me closer to showing homes, writing contracts, and closing deals. That only works if you set the tone in the morning. You go ahead and do that in the morning. Another thing is, guys, real estate agents who are closing the most business, they're also working weekends. Saturday and Sunday are some of the most effective times to actually call and prospect. Reason being, it's obvious. Most people are not working on the weekends. Most people are at home. They're more likely to check their phone. They're more likely to answer their phone. So if you want to have more real estate conversations and you want to increase the productivity that you're doing on a weekly basis, win that weekend, go ahead and set aside some time. Maybe it's 2 hours, maybe it's 3 hours, maybe it's 4 hours on the weekend. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to prospect, I'm going to call, and I'm going to try to generate some business for me going into the next week. So that's number one, guys. Win the morning, win the weekend. Number two, organize and conquer, guys. And this is something that I have been preaching from the rooftops since day one, since I joined Century 21 Masters. Is one thing we got to do is we got to organize our database, and we got to set a workflow for ourselves so that we maximize every minute of our time and effort. There's a lot of a lot of real estate agents, especially when they start their real estate career. Well, one thing that real estate gives us is we get a real estate license, but we also kind of get this license of flexibility. We can get to set our own hours. We decide what we want to do when we want to do it. The agents who are closing the most business, they are organized. They know exactly, hey, here's what I'm doing today. This is my schedule. I'm prospecting in the morning. I'm doing this for this, and this, and that. And it also looks like that in the case of our database. So when we go into Follow Up Boss, for example, it's really important that we are, organizing everything in here by stages. You see, I can for my database right here, I can quickly go find my hot leads. I can quickly go see my leads that are under contract right now. I got 8 leads under contract right now that I can look at, and all of that's possible for me to look at and sift through. It's because I've organized them. I'm doing a little work on the front end every day to make sure my database is up to date and I know where people are. You guys got to do the same thing in terms of that workflow. Also, kind of write out a process for yourself. I just, for example, I just got off the phone with a client and they want to purchase in Long Beach. Their budget is going to be somewhere between $800,000 to $1 million. Okay, once I get off the phone, what do I do next? What is my step-by-step process? Step one for me is as soon as I get that conversation, I finish that conversation, I'm sending a text message. I'm saying, hey, great. Hey, Michelle, it was so great talking to you. Here's my contact. I'll be looking forward to sending you some listings, and I'll be looking forward to meeting you on Friday, blah, 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 blah. I'm doing that. Following up with a text message. Second, I'm going and setting up YLOPO listing alerts for them. That way they're getting automated communication from me. They're getting automated listings that fit their requirements. And number three, I'm updating the stages, updating the notes in Follow Up Boss. And number four, I'm setting a task, setting a note for myself for the next step, the next action. We got to take that kind of organizational approach to our workflow as well. All right, so. And you guys, if you have any questions about that, we can digest, we can dissect that later. Just let me know. We can talk about your individual kind of workflow. But that's just an example right there. That's what I would do right after a conversation with a buyer, for example. Let's keep going. Number 3 right here. Number 3, focus with the end in mind. Okay. So what do I mean by that, guys? We're already 3 months in to this year. It's already March 12th. Typically, what I like to do is at the beginning of every year, I set goals for myself. I set 5 goals, for example: a personal goal, a social goal, a career goal, a health goal, and just a miscellaneous goal. Okay. When we talk about our real estate world, or kind of our real estate goals, we need to be constantly thinking about, where do I want to be this time next year? Where do I want to be at the end of the year? Where do I want to be at the end of this month? Okay. And when we set that goal, when we understand that, from there, the next step is, okay, how do we do this? How do I get to the point where I'm going to do 10 million in transactions this year? How many, and what's a great roadmap for us to do that? We look back at, and we record, how many contacts did I make on average last year? Okay. How many deals did I make based off those contacts? Okay. So bam, bam, bam. If I am doing something like, if I'm doing, 20 contacts a day, and last year I only got somewhere like I don't know, let's say 5 deals. Okay, what would it look like if I did 40 contacts a day? Is that going to increase my ability to double my growth to get to 10 deals or that 10 million spot that I'm looking for in terms of my goal? We need to think about in terms of that. We need to think about terms, set concrete goals that we can measure, and then hold ourselves to that and focus on that every single day. One thing that's it's also kind of tied in with this is, I don't know if any of you guys have ever like done a diet or ever, I don't know, set like a kind of a long-term goal where, the first 3 weeks, the first month, even the first 2 weeks, I would say, it's super easy. You're super motivated. You're ready. You're ready to run through a wall and just do it. And well, the thing is, guys, the issue is a lot of people get high off that first month adrenaline. What we need to do is we have to kind of take a more calm, focused approach to our goals and especially to our real estate business. And we have to have resilience in that respect. We have to have kind of a strong mindset that, I'm going to prospect, I'm going to make these phone calls, even I don't even feel like doing it today. There's days like that, guys. You guys realize, like, I call and prospect for, at least 6, 7, 8 hours a day, some days. And like, sometimes I just don't feel like doing it, but I focus back on my goal. Hey, what am I doing? What is my purpose? What is my big why? Or what is my big motivator? I would encourage you guys to spend a little bit of time to think about that today and ask yourself, what is my big why? Why do I want to sell this amount of real estate this year? Why do I want to be successful in this business? I think about how is that going to change my life? How is that going to make me feel more accomplished or happier or more well established, whatever it is. I want you to take a little bit of time today. Think about that. What's my big why? Why am I doing this? And why do I need to persist and be resilient towards this goal? It's going to go a long way for you. And a lot of our agents who I talk to, that's what they're thinking. They ask them what's their big why. Hey, I want to do this because I really want to create a lifestyle for my kids and give them all the opportunities to go to college and to pursue their dreams and so forth and so forth. It can be any number of things. Number 4, prioritize. Okay. One thing you're going to run into as you guys get into this business, when you're doing more and more and more, you're talking to more and more clients, you're going to get a little bit overwhelmed at times. You're going to get times where you have, 100 tasks or you have 100 clients plus that are in your database. What we need to do is we need to prioritize those clients and the tasks that we have each day. And so one thing that I'm also doing at the beginning of the day is I'm thinking about, okay, perfect. What are my absolute must-dos today? Who are my absolute people I must talk to today? And basically using that as my kind of almost triage. You guys know what triage is. You go to a hospital, someone who's about to die, they're going to go to the ER. Someone who just broke a pinky, okay, they're going to wait. They're going to wait a while before they see a doctor. We kind of need to do the same thing with real estate, but the kind of prioritization needs to be based off of their timeline and based off for example, whether or not they're in contract already with us. So in terms of priority, I'm already those leads that are already in contract that we're already actively working with, their top priority. I'm going to check their status first thing of the day. Number 2, then I'm going to my hot clients. I'm going to the ones who are starting to look, we've had a good conversation, or moving towards setting an appointment or setting a time to get together to list their home or to help them see a property, whatever it is. That's number 2, and then number 3, bam, back to generating new business and following up with my leads who are, hey, we'll be looking later this spring, or we might be looking later, this summer, this fall, whatever it is. Prioritize, okay? Makes sense. Number 5, seek to understand. Okay. One mistake a lot of real estate agents are making is that they do not ask questions. They just go straight to trying to pitch and try to get an appointment. They're so focused on the outcome of the conversation that they're not focused on the individual that they're having a conversation with, the person that they're trying to build a relationship with, guys. I know I preach this over and over again, but there's no contract, there's no closing without some type some type of connection. Okay. And how do we connect? How do we actively help people as we understand them? So the highly effective agents, they're asking questions, they're actively listening, and they seek to understand their clients so that they can proactively find solutions for their problems. One of the things that one of the big reasons we're in this business, guys, is we like helping people. That's what's kind of unique about real estate. Everybody needs a home, and everybody, a lot of people we talk to, some of them are going through difficult situations, whether it's divorce or whether it's having to downsize because they lost a loved one in their family. They can't afford the mortgage anymore, or it's you know having to move, relocate, because of work or anything like that. And, kind of our job, what's unique about that is we get the opportunity to help these people. We get the opportunity to kind of take difficult situations and make them really happy situations where get them back into a comfort zone of a house. And so, we've talked about this a lot, and I'm going to drop this into the chat real quickly. And we've been working this on Thursday mornings, but there's an LP Mama sheet that I think is really helpful in terms of helping you think about the questions you need to ask and using that while you're prospecting. Let me find it real quickly. I want to drop it into the chat for you guys, and I'll pull it up here if I can. Let me see. Here it is. And then, guys, this is what I use. I know we've gone over it in our Thursday morning scripts and role play, but this is a great kind of template for me to kind of take a picture and understand of who this lead is, what's their motivation, what's their timeline, what's going everything, what are they looking for, and wrap that up into my notes. One thing I also want to I want to stress about asking questions and seeking to understand our clients. There's a method, and we brought it up actually during our mastermind with Alex Litz last month. Guys, highly suggest tuning in for our masterminds. They're always great. Always bring on some really great guests. But Alex mentioned the FORD acronym. The FORD acronym. FORD is how kind of the four things that really we want to understand about our clients, about their family, their occupation, their recreational interests, and their dreams. When we can have fluid, natural conversations with them about those four things, it opens up a world of possibilities for us to connect with them, and opens up a world of possibilities for us to kind of in advance, proactively, kind of seek out and find solutions for them that fit their family, fit their dreams, fit their recreational needs, and so forth. But that's that right there. As you guys can see, I dropped that into the chat for you. Feel free to use that while you're prospecting today. Oh, no, I didn't. Let me send it. There it is. I had it on deck for like 5 minutes. All right, so that's number 5 right there. Seek to understand. Number 6, teamwork makes the dream work. Another thing, guys, another thing you'll see, the top agents in our company, Melinda Elmer, Scott Still, Karen Myatt, those people are highly active and involved with the company. They're coming to the office, they're networking with fellow agents, sharing their new listings and open houses, and they're teaming up with an in-office lender. All the basics right there. They're really doing as much to collaborate. And what's really cool, guys, about our company, about our brokerage, is we're very unique, guys. I've spent a lot of time. I've talked to, I've gone to these conferences and I've talked to other brokerages, and I've spent time with other brokerages. For example, before I even joined Century 21 Masters, I got basically headhunted by about 10 or 12 different brokerages, and interviewed with them, and I talked to them about all kind of what they're doing, what they're offering. Nobody is offering the amount of services and the amount of kind of like the environment that we're offering here at Century 21 Masters. We have an escrow department, we have a lending department, we have a property management department, we have pretty much every piece of the puzzle all in one place, and you guys can find your any resource here within the team, and you can collaborate with those people. It's also really cool that we have these big office chats where I can go in, hey, I'm looking, I really kind of want to generate some more business. I want to do an open house. How you can go into one of our chats, our Telegram chats in the office, and be like, "Hey, can I take an open house this weekend? Is anybody trying to do an open house? I'd be happy to volunteer." There's so much of those opportunities to synergize and to team up. And guys, if you want to be effective, you really need to take advantage of those opportunities. A big thing a lot of people don't realize is a lot of your value, a lot of your net worth is wrapped up in your network. Okay, I want to say that again. A lot of your value and a lot of your net worth is wrapped up in your network. So you as a real estate agent also need to be networking with your agents, networking with lenders, networking with everyone around you to try to generate as much business as possible. Okay. Number 7 right here, sharpen the saw. Yeah, and this one is absolutely straight from the book. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The idea is simple. Think about yourself as we all right here in this Zoom room. We have big goals, and imagine our goal as like a big tree, one of those big California trees that that we all know about it. And essentially, let's imagine trying to cut that tree down. At some points, you're going to find that, hey, that my saw is getting dull. I'm hacking away. I'm working. But like the results are kind of getting smaller and smaller. Guys, sometimes we need to slow down so that we can speed up later. Sometimes we need to take a little bit of time, kind of analyze what we're doing, analyze our conversations, study kind of our game as if we're like a professional athlete. You guys know the best athletes in the world. Then Kansas City Chiefs, for example, after every single football game, literally the next day, even literally sometimes the same day, if it was a noon football game, they are going ahead and watching the film. They're looking for their mistakes. They're looking for opportunities that they missed, and they're taking those right and basically taking note of that and carrying it into the next game, carrying it into the next opportunity. One way I like to think about this, especially if you're calling through Follow Up Boss, you can call once you finish a conversation, listen back to that conversation, look for things like, hey, how did I sound? What was my tone? Did I sound like super positive? Did I sound like I was smiling when I had this conversation? Number 2, when they gave me this objection, did I really carry it the same way? What could I have said better? Let's build that muscle memory, because like the next time I hear that objection, I know I want to respond differently. I want to respond this way. Okay. Stuff like that. You can also kind of think about this in the way of looking at where your lead sources are coming from. And I know we did a big session about this about a month or 2 back, kind of looking back and auditing your lead sources, your reporting, that sort of stuff. You can go through and kind of look, okay, out of all my deals that I closed this year, what was I the best? What was I, where did I see the most success? Was it door knocking? Was it cold calling? Was it calling expireds? Was it website leads? Was it OpCity, YLOPO, whatever it is? Go look in those stuff, slow down, see, hey, where can I improve? Where can I do the most business? Where do I need to be focusing more of my efforts? Take a little bit of time, slow down so we can speed up. Okay. So guys, those are the 7 habits of highly effective real estate agents. Let's go through them one more time, just so you guys you can maybe write it down. Number 1, win the morning, win the weekend. Number 2, organize and conquer. Number 3, focus with the end in mind. Remember, guys, that's setting a goal clearly, setting the roadmap for how do I achieve that goal. Number 4, prioritize. Prioritizing your clients and your tasks for each day. Number 5, seeking to understand. Number 6, teamwork makes the dream work. And number 7, sharpening the saw. Okay. All right. So those are, that's what I wanted to dive in today. That's kind of a sermon I wanted to give. I don't know if it sounded a little bit sermon-y, but that's kind of what I was wanting to go for. It's something that, I read that book. And again, guys, that book, the link to that book is in the chat. I'd say about 3 of the habits, or maybe 4 of the habits that I listed out, talked about today. They're from that book. A couple, the other ones I added myself. But I think you'll find a lot of value if you spend some time, buy that book, read that book. Now I want to kind of open up a conversation for Q&A. You guys have any questions or any comments or anything that's like, I said today that maybe you feel like is relevant to you and your own business?
Yeah, I have a question,
Yes.
Hunter. So because you state that we can use recordings when we're calling over the follow-up boss. So I'm using for my Mojo when I prospecting, I'm using the follow-up boss number. Do you think that they can also record from that number?
Yeah, so
Mojo
unfortunately it won't.
prospecting. Hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, it won't record if you're calling through Mojo unless you pay for like a Mojo call recording subscription.
Okay,
Um,
that's something different. Yeah, I know. But I was thinking like because of I'm using the Mojo same number, then go
yeah,
they're gonna see also who I call. Okay, and
yeah,
my
no,
second question
yeah,
is
yeah. Go ahead.
so for you say when you have an interesting buyer, uh, do you first pre-qualify them and then put them in the YLOPO, or how you doing that?
So you mean
I'm thinking
pre-qualify them
about the
with
lender.
by the
I'm
lender?
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of based off of our conversation, one thing that I'm doing with every conversation we have with a client needs to end with the next steps. Okay,
Mhm.
so if this is person, he's a hot buyer, and we understand we got to get him pre-approved. What I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, well, great, hey, Marian, here's what I'd like to do. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in touch with one of the lenders on my team so that we can go ahead and get you pre-approved, figure out what your loan options are, and go ahead and start shopping, say this weekend or next week. When would be a good time to set an appointment for you, or a call appointment for you with my colleague Scott or my colleague, Isis, whoever it is. So yeah, go ahead and do that. However, I also think it's probably worth your while on the front end before you even introduce the lender. Ask two quick questions. From our LP Mama sheet right here. Do you have an idea kind of what your credit score is, and do you know how much money you have kind of set up for a down payment? If they tell us I have a credit score of 500 and that they don't have any money for a down payment, that's a kind of a sign for us. Well, this guy might be motivated, but he doesn't have a chance, and so there's no point in prioritizing him. But we can just we can ask those questions on the front end, and then essentially set the appointment for the lender. What I would do is after I set that appointment for the lender, I would text. I'd be like, "Hey, Mariana, it was great talking to you. As promised, I'm going to have my colleague Scott give you a call at 4 o'clock. He'll go over the loan options with you. Meantime, I'll just be sending over some listings, and we'll be looking forward to getting together with you this weekend. And then bam, bam, bam. So, kind of that's kind of the workflow that I would map out. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Thank you very much.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
So, Hunter, I want to two things. So, first of all, I want to give you a lot of credit because, in all of the years I've been coaching and training and all the different things I've been a part of, I had never seen this LP Mama sheet until you brought it up. And what's funny is I see it more often now. Uh, actually, it was we had one of our agents was getting recruited, and they said, "Oh, well, we do this great script and training role play. Something you've probably never heard of was LP Mama." And our agent went, "Actually, we've been practicing that for a long time." So I give you shout out and credit for this because I did not know. Uh, the other thing is you were talking about, the networking and all that other stuff. And I want to share something with everybody here. If you went to the follow-up boss leaderboard, and some of you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, and that's okay. You're gonna get annoyed because the person that's leading is no surprise is Melinda. And I know some of you get annoyed, like, oh, Melinda gets more credit, and Robert always promotes Melinda, and all these other different things, and all this other stuff. Well, that's participation. So don't get annoyed at some of these agents for the production they're doing. Be more engaged, right? Be more. I mean, Hunter's got this great thing with Follow Up Boss. And I got to tell you something about Melinda. She didn't do any of this prior to joining the company, but she's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And now she's number one. And number three is the person on her team. So the Elmer team has two of the top three people. That's what being engaged means. It's, hey, look it, You want to show this to me? I'm not just gonna have you show it to me and then say thanks. I'm gonna show it and I'm gonna engage with it. I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? I look at some of the people from the top down, and they might not always be on Zoom. Mark and Al are never on Zoom, Robbie and that crew. But I got to tell you, I get their business plans every single month, very specifics, as Hunter said earlier. Where's your business come from? Where's this? Here's Gage. Here's my business plan. Here's what I want to work on. Every month I get it. Okay. Like they're totally engaged with everything that's going on. I get an email every week. Now I talk to Karen Myatt every week as well, but I get an email every week from Karen Myatt. She sends it to myself and the Thompsons with a breakdown. It's here how many calls I made last week. Here's how many contacts I made. Here's what I have listed. Here's what I have pending. Right? Totally engaged with what's going on. You've got to get engaged. Yeah, I mean, you've got to get more engaged, whether it be with Follow Up Boss, whether it be with engaging with the coaches, the trainers. And I know I'm talking to a lot of you, and it's like, hey, well, Robert, I'm here. You're preaching to the choir, but get engaged even more. Okay, you should have a goal to say, I'm going to be on this leaderboard. I'm going to be one of the people on this Follow Up Boss leaderboard. Okay, and here's what I want to share with you. So a quote I heard last week at the 121. They interviewed this guy that does 300 transactions a year. He did 180 deals before he hired a buyer's agent. Okay. And I know the owner of his company, and the owner of his company is about the most direct person you can possibly meet. So I know that everything the guy says is real. And here's what he said. He goes, everybody can be a superstar, which means, and he pointed at the crowd, he said, you qualify. You just got to be engaged more. You got to make more calls. You got to make more emails. You got to, reach out and say, hey, give me some ideas, give me this. And then when I do it, and then when somebody gives it to you, do it. So that point that he made on engagement, I would love everyone on this call to have a goal that says, you know what, for March, maybe it's too late in March, but at least for April, I'm going to be on the top 10 of the leaderboard for Follow Up Boss in April. I don't know how these points work because I'm not smart enough to figure it out. But
Yeah.
I do know that the most points means you're probably the most active. So make a goal to yourself saying, you know what, I'm going to start now. I'm going to create the habit now. I've got 2 weeks to create the habit in March. In April, I'm going to be in the top 10 on the leaderboard in this Follow Up Boss point system. I'll bet if you're in the top 10, top 20 every month in the Follow Up Boss point system, you'll probably generate more business than you're doing today. But get engaged, right? Do more. There's so much that we offer. Maybe it's overwhelming. So get involved with something, the activities, the actions.
Yeah. And just to that, guys, I'll tell you how the score works. Essentially, for each call, you get 100 points. For every call that you connect, you get 100 points. For every call attempt, besides that, you get 10 points. For every text message, you get 2 points. And for every email, you get 1 point. So, yeah, guys, it's that easy. Obviously, calls are weighted more, and calls that you connect, that's well, actually, this isn't call that you connect. This is minutes that you spent on the phone call, right here, that green section right there. So yeah, one thing, guys, we do this every year. We'll do it again and lead up to FubCon later this fall. We'll have a Follow Up Boss leaderboard competition. But guys, like I said, Robert's absolutely right. What's stopping you from going ahead and now and taking over this leaderboard? What's stopping you now from being this top 10? So, well, cool. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Do I have any other questions or any other comments, cries of outrage?
I just wanted to ask about this leaderboard. So by Melinda, you're going to see this number 26. Is this appointment?
Yes, those are appointments.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So she's set 26 appointments so far this year. And however, I will say appointments, I mean, the appointments, they give you 500 points. I don't log all my appointments in Follow Up Boss. But and I know Kate and Dennis don't either. Anyways, that's a little it's actually good. It's something I look back and I think I need to work on. I need to be more committed to logging all my appointments and Follow Up Boss so I can track them better. And then that's going to be good for you guys as well, as you guys can look back each month and say, oh, hey, I logged this amount of appointments. Here's my goal. I did 20 appointments this month. I want to do 25 next month, whatever it is. Help you in terms of the goal tracking there. All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, then I think we'll call it a wrap for today. Reminder, next week we'll be back here for our Ask Me Anything session. Literally, you guys can come in, ask me anything. And we'll be back at 12:15 next Tuesday. Until then, guys, if you need anything.
Hunter, I'm sorry. What was the name of the book, Hunter?
Yes, it's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Real Estate Agents, or of highly effective people. And if you want, Lupe, I'll just drop you the link in Telegram so you have it.
All right, great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Without further ado, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Always a pleasure. You guys know where to find me if you need me. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing your beautiful faces back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. for Scripts and Roleplay.